Give it up for Craig Munslow, everybody. Craig and I have been doing this comedy thing for about 20 years. He's one of the best children's entertainers. Check him out at craigmunslows.com. You know, this being the Nuts Show, he held me at gunpoint to write nut jokes. So I will be reading you some nut jokes. Relax. If you don't like them, email KMUNSLOWDABYBABY at msn.net. He's grandfathered in. Hey, Kevin, what kind of footwear does a nut wear to a formal event? Cash high heels. So they normally wear cashews. Hey Keith, did you just sneeze?
No.
Could you just sneeze?
Okay, sure.
Ah! God bless cashew. Yeah, I bet you thought I was going to say cashew tight, didn't you? Did you hear they're doing an all nuts remake of Jerry Maguire? All of the characters are playing a different nut, and yes, they say the catchphrase, cashew me the money. I only had time for cashew jokes. Let me just speed through these next couple. Favorite play about nuts, Tammy the Cashew. Starting a new game show where you can win a lifetime supply of nuts by answering trivia questions about nuts while sitting in the moving car. It's called Cashew Cab. Hanna-Barbera is doing a new collaboration with nuts. It's called Cashew Be Do Where Cashew. My favorite all-time celebrity couple, Cashew Grant and Elizabeth Cashew. Wow, I'm hungry. Would you like some soup? Well, that sounds good. I need something heartier. How about a cash stew? Thank you. Made a few mistakes. I put together a 10-year plan. You gotta do it. I'm a mindset guy. You know these mindset guys? That's me. Taking supplements, getting in mindset, doing business, crypto, whatever. So here's my 10-year plans. In 2025, I will eat lab-grown meat. In 2026, I will pass the lab-grown meat. In 2027, I will start my own business called Build a Different Kind of Bear, where you can stuff bears with you, whatever you want. I don't care, just bring it in. I'm gonna put a bunch of organ meat in there, I don't care, that's fine. In 2028, I will bankrupt my entire family after Build a Different Kind of Bear is named a co-conspirator in several drug trafficking rings. In 2029, I assume my AI will be perfect by then. It's already there, right, folks? And I will use AI to generate text that I will use to have the talk with my two sons. In 2030, my sons will ask me if they can go into therapy. In 2031, I will crash my self-driving car into a Denny's Express after falling asleep watching a Jaleel White documentary on my LCD screen attached to my steering wheel. By the way, a Denny's Express is a Denny's, but more express than a regular Denny's. Duh. Fuck. In 2032, I will audition for the reality show. I crashed my self-driving car into a Denny's Express. I do not get the part, with casting directors citing unsettling and not the fun kind as the main reason. Do not feel bad for me. Because in 2033, I will be cast in a different competition reality show, House Full of Creeps. Or I live in a home with 32 other middle-aged males with equally bad posture, and I become a fan favorite for my catchphrase, I will eat your hair if you continue to bother me. In 2034, with my earnings from winning top creep at House Full of Creeps, I buy my family a self-driving houseboat. We set sail from Tiverton and don't look back. In 2035, I will crash my self-driving houseboat into a Denny's on the Water Express in Beer Garden. Thank you, yes. That's my future plans, 10-year plans. All right, I have one more piece of information to deliver. As we call it in the comedy biz, we chunk it up into infos. And you deliver them in nice little packs. So ask any of the comics here. They'll love to tell you about their infos, where their thinkies come from and stuff. I'm going to do something very ill-advised here, but I've already done something ill-advised, which is, write this shortly before the show. Obviously, I write some very stupid stuff. That's my bread and butter. I'm a big, dumb guy, huge guy. I love it. I got a 10, 20 on my SATs. I'm proud of it. Okay? All right. So I decided to take some years, and I wanted to do a year in review for 2024, but I don't know if you've been paying attention. It's kind of suck. It's a suck year from top to bottom of the globe. And so I decided I would look back at my life, and this is called My Years in Review. 1983, I'm born in New York City. I don't remember much from this year, but it being the city, it's where I learned my first words, which are fuck you, and hey, I'm walking here, and rent control. 1989, I moved to Worcester, Massachusetts, accompanying my father and his friend for a round of golf. About halfway through, my father stops to pee in the woods by saying, I have to piss. While he's doing so, I hear him say to his friend, crap, he's gonna tell his mom I said piss. When he comes back to the golf cart, he says, are you going to tell Mom I said piss? I said, no. And he said, just don't tell her I said piss. And I said, well, can I say piss? And he said, you can say piss to me, but don't say piss to your mother. And I said, okay, piss. And he said, well, don't just say piss. You have to use it in a sentence. And I said, okay, I have to piss. And my dad said, do you? And I said, do I what? And he said, never mind, and off we went in the golf cart, only for him to bogey the next hole while saying a whole lot more than just piss. He took me to see the Harlem Globetrotters the next week at the Worcester Spectrum, probably out of guilt over the piss incident. Now, I never did tell my mother, and to this day, I feel this is why they are still together. Or their upbringing, I don't know. 1999, after living in Maryland and South Carolina, I'm the new kid again, back in New York, but this time far from the city. I'm upstate, living in Lysander. Everybody know Lysander? Shout out, no one knows it. It's a speck of a town, idling in the middle of pumpkin patches and Angus beef farms. So of course I do what any 16-year-old does in this scenario. I join a rap group. We were called the Smooth Boys. That's boys with a Z, S-M-O-O-T-H-B-O-Y-Z. That's how we do it, straight from A to Z. That was a chorus. I was the pump master. My friend was the vanilla Godzilla. We had a Pakistani friend. He was the Pakistani powerhouse. We had a friend named Harold, and his rap name was Harold. Here's just a few lines. And we won the Battle of the Bands my senior year of high school. The local weekly paper reviewed it as unsure if this is sincere or satire. It was sincere, but today I say it's satire. Boom, 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 step up in the room, pass the microphone, and we'll go to the moon. I'm the craziest rapper you ever did see, and I rhyme all these words with the greatest of ease. Straight up off the mean streets of Queens, which, okay, I was born there, but I left at 3 months old. It's really Long Island if you really want to get technical. I'm a big-time, big, huge rapping machine. That's right, Battle of the Bands winner. 1999. 2004, I moved to New York. Actually 2004, and I was still in college. I started a sketch comedy group in college, and I wrote a very silly column in the school newspaper endorsing Dennis Haskins, aka Mr. Belding from Saved by the Bell, for our commencement speaker. They used to let us vote on it, and I said, let's bring Belding. Somehow, he finds my email address. He Googles his name, apparently. And I get an email from Mr. Belding, dbhhh@aol.com. Write that down if you want to email him. He emails me and says, if you're really serious about this, I do this sort of thing. Here's my agent's number. I call the agent and start explaining, and they go, oh, is this Jake? He's a tragic figure, Dennis Haskins. So we booked Mr. Belding to host our comedy festival after much begging from the Student Activities Board for $8,000 to pay his fee. That's what he gets. $8,000 to show up at a college and eat all the pizza backstage. He was just supposed to host, and when he was supposed to go on and give a simple introduction to a comedy group called the Whistling Shrimps, he instead hogged the stage for 25 minutes, regaling the crowd of several hundred people with his boring audition story from Saved by the Bell, which was basically, another guy couldn't do it, so I got it. Later on, he gave the crowd a motivational speech. He told everyone they were all very special. He said, you should chase your dreams, and on the count of 3, I want you proudly to say your name. 1, 2, 3. And nobody yelled their name, but somebody yelled, fuck you. "2012, I'd lived in New York City for a while trying to be a comedian, but it burned me out. I had bed bugs, got laid off from my job, and my favorite weed dealer got busted. Yeah, his name was Marvin, and he had a mustache and described every weed strain as earthy. Now, a lot of cool things and fun happened during the time in my New York City, but nothing was particularly hilarious except when I shit my pants after a 4th date with my now wife. That was pretty funny. We'd gone to dinner, and after I started to feel like it was coming, I told her I'd meet her at the bar where she was going and needed to run to my apartment for a minute. I waddled off the subway looking like a lunatic, running out of time once I hit the front door, but managed to make it all the way inside, up the stairs, but tripped on the landing outside my door and lost all control. I didn't go to the bar that night, but she still married me. Mm-hmm. She lets me shit my pants all the time now. 2024, look, we all know it. Rough year, no fun, but I do have a lot to be grateful for. Great wife and kids. I get to perform with my favorite people in the world in front of you all, and I would say more if I could, but I have to piss. Thank you very much.